What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Russell, and I'm going to say good afternoon to you, everybody. Even though you may be watching this late night, early morning, late afternoon, early evening, I'm not entirely positive. But let's jump right into it. We have a 1v1 against none other than Wiggs, who I've featured a few times and who is actually a very good friend of mine. And he is the blue Protoss in the top, we'll just say it's the top right corner, against Sayacupa. I'm just going to call him Say, the red Zerg in the bottom left. And this map is Shattered Temple. It is the remake of Lost Temple. Instead of the floating islands, we have, well, not really floating islands, but you know what I mean. We have destructible rocks leading into this expansion here. And we have your natural leading down into here with pretty much one ground entry right here. And we have Wiggs throwing down the pylon to block off the ramp just in case for that 6 pool that is very tricky to defend if the other player knows exactly what they're doing. And we do see Say going in and scouting Wiggs' base first, going to the correct position for scouting, and Wiggs scouting at the correct position also, and Wiggs hiding his probe here. So will we see maybe a little contain here with Wiggs throwing down maybe a pylon here and with some cannons if he does decide to get that forged early? It's always a possibility with that probe there, or it's a possibility to be like a 2-gate proxy. We are seeing a gateway going down for Wiggs right here. And he did fend off that drone a little bit, but we are seeing the gateway going down. And he is putting another pylon down in the back here. Little off. We are seeing the probe going in here to scout once again. And yes, we do see Say going for a 13 hatch. No, a 14 hatch. That was a 14 hatch. And we are seeing Wiggs seeing exactly what is going on, and he knows, okay, there's no spawning pool down yet, so it must be going for a 14 hatch. And he is throwing down a pylon here, so we will see either maybe, oh, was that, did he just cancel that? He just canceled the gateway that he put here, so maybe trying to trick Say, and yes, we do see the forge going down, so maybe he is trying to trick Say into thinking that, oh, okay, Wiggs is going for standard build, but no, Wiggs might actually be canning him in, and no, it looks like Wiggs is going to proxy gate him in his own base. He doesn't even see it yet. He's not even able to see this because there's nothing here. Even though he does have units tuned in to right here, they will see that if he does actually decide to spawn some Zerglings, they will see that. But no, Wiggs going for a 2-gate proxy inside Say's own base. This is going to be really tricky for him to pull off, especially at the point in time of the game. But he does have the 2 gates already on the place, and he does have a photon cannon on the way to protect this from any Zerglings, as long as he is able to get a Zealot out as soon as possible, as soon as these gateways go down. We will go back to everybody's vision, and this hatchery is just now finishing, so we should maybe see some drones being transferred here from Say down to this hatchery. And we are seeing spawning pool. Will he be going for the Zerg? No, he does have some Zerglings out, but will they see this? No, they do not see this. Oh man, Say is not going to be happy when he does find that out. And so we go back to Wiggs' vision, and Say moving out with these Zerglings, pretty much average time, but Wiggs having no defenses at his main base, so these Zerglings will be able to do quite a bit of economic damage to Wiggs because he has no defenses. And Wiggs just now realizing that he is going to go throw down a photon cannon here, but it's not going to be quick enough. These Zerglings are seeing exactly what's going on. They're like, oh, that gateway's not there anymore, so he's got to be like, what the f. And then he's running into Wiggs' base and like, okay, what the hell is going on here? Taking out one probe. How many probes is he going to lose? Just 2 probes, 3... 4, 5 probes. Wiggs lost 5 probes in that whole entire thing, but he did take out all of those Zerglings, and this Zealot just doing work, completely missed these 2 Zealots, taking down almost every single drone, and he's transferring all of these drones down to this main here, well, down to the natural here, and Wiggs bringing in more Zealots to kind of try and take off this Queen, because that would be very huge damage to Say in this early in the game. It takes down the Queen, going to kill all of these Zerglings, and going to kill these drones too. And will he be able to take out the second Queen? That would be very hard for Say to keep up with his macro on that. And yes, he takes out the second Queen, and almost in these Zerglings wisely backing up, and Wiggs going back to work here. What he needs to do is focus down the spawning pool if he wants to be able to take down any damaging units that Say will be able to build. And these Zerglings kind of just being backed off, and they are going to get the surround on these Zealots, and these Zealots are going to go down. No, Wiggs needs to back up and just keep him in the corner so that these Zerglings can't get the surround on him, because if they don't get the surround on him, he will be able to take out every single Zergling. One Zealot going down. He is bringing just more Zerglings in, but these Zealots are just doing work to all of these Zerglings, and Wiggs just morphing in more Zealots at the point in time too. So we have 3 Zealots here. 6 kills before he goes down. I did not see the kill count on that, but these Zerglings taking care of the rest of those Zealots, so he must know, okay, something is going on here, and he's putting down another Photon Cannon, and these Zerglings aren't going to be able to hold this off. They try to get to this probe. They should have gone for that, but Wiggs wisely putting his Zealot there to block from him killing the probe. And we are seeing this Photon Cannon finally finish. We do see another one in the base, and we should see another one placed right here just in case those Zerglings do try and get this around, because they can easily circumvent this by going this way and going right into the probe line, but the probes would just have to pull off. And these two Zealots getting surrounded, not even able to do any damage, so nope, these Photon Cannons keeping the Zerglings away from doing any real damage to Wiggs's 2 proxy here, 2-gate proxy. So seeing a very interesting game. Say not getting any more units on his mineral line here, but he has not enough units here either, but he is going for the Roach Horn. This is a great tech switch for him to go into, but he does need that other queen here, and he does need more drones, and these Zealots going to be killed yet again, getting 1 kill. I believe only both of them got 3 kills, maybe 4 there. I think it's just 3. But we do need to see Say producing more drones instead of producing Zerglings at this point in time, because we do see 11 Zerglings on the field. I don't know why I pressed that. Okay, yep, 11 Zerglings on the field, and 3 drones finally on the way. The Roach Horn is just now finishing, so he will want to pump out as many roaches as possible, but he does not have enough minerals to really do anything of that sort. And Wiggs training 2 more Zealots. Let's go back to his main base. He has a Cybernetics core finally, so we will see him tech switching into possibly gate. Well, if you are a Protoss, you always want to get that warp gate. So in the moment he does have 50, yep, we are seeing the moment he had 50, using that, starting to research that, and he is producing more pros, because he knows, okay, I'm down on the economy here, because he does know that his opponent does have the second base. But what he does not know is that the drone to probe count, he has more probes than his opponent has drones. So, but we are also seeing Say producing the creep here, trying to spread it out so that Wiggs can't really go much farther with the cannon, so that he can't like pretty much just block off his base here. But these Zerglings rushing out here, and they are going to be doing quite a bit of damage. Wiggs trying to throw down some more Photon Cannons, throwing 2-3 more down, but he is throwing them down in the wrong spot. He needs to get basically surround with Photon Cannons on his base, and he is throwing down 2 more gateways, and this Photon Cannon having 2 kills, and then the Photon Cannon just going to work on these Zerglings. 2 Zerglings going down, so this Photon Cannon has 3 kills. But yep, he is wisely kind of trying to get the surround on these Zerglings, and the Zerglings are going to be going down, but he is going to lose quite a few probes here also, and he's just bringing the Zerglings into their death from the Photon Cannon. So I wonder if Wiggs will put a pylon here to create a little bit more of a concave for. I'm sorry, I had to my nose started stuffing up. And back at home base, we are seeing 3 roaches on the field. One with a little bit of damage, because he might have tried to go up in here and got hit by the Photon Cannon. And if we go back to the production tab, we are seeing Warp Gate just about to finish. So we will see Wiggs morphing all of these into Warp Gates. Yep, there goes 2 of them going into Warp Gates, and here comes the others. This is a very standard time for if you're going to be doing a 4-gate push to have your Warp Gates at 1150. And since he does now have the warp technology, and he does have the Cybernetics core, he can now warp in some Stalkers to deal with those roaches. Because roaches are armored, and Stalkers do a little bit more damage versus armored. As you can see here, their regular damage is 10, their versus armor damage is 14, and they are kind of enticing, Say, to come into here. And Wiggs only having 2 Stalkers at this point in time, and he is trying to keep them so that they don't get surrounded by the Zerglings, but he does need to bring the Zealot out with him also. And I'm not sure as to how Say is going to deal with this now that Stalkers are on the field, but Wiggs does need to bring his economy up. He does need to get that other assimilator, and he does need to keep probing up, because he does not have enough probes here to be even close to saturated. And at this point, like, his economy should be like in the 700, 800s right now. He should possibly go for a second expand just in case, because you never want to do like an all-in push. And if you have enough resources to go for an expand, and he is going to be take out this queen. The queen going down, so no more inject larva from the queen here at this base. But he still has this. But Say still has this base. He needs to be using that inject larva. He is not using the inject larva on this queen. So not really. So I'm not sure if Say is usually a Zerg player or not, because most Zerg players, even like the silver and like bronze level, know to always inject larva into their hatcheries with their queens. But he did do it on this one, so he has more than enough larva here, and he has more than enough resources to build a ton of roaches to deal with this army here from Wiggs. So Wiggs kind of gonna try and supply block him, because he already is supply blocked. So now Say has to build Overlord so he doesn't stay supply block, because he is at 52 out of 44. And if we go to the production tab, he has 7 roaches on the way. 7 roaches will easily be able to take care of this as long as he doesn't let Wiggs macro up. But it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do, is let Wiggs macro up. But these photon cannons are going to make him deter just a little bit. He needs to focus on this pylon. That's correct, is what he needs to do. But he is just not focusing down any of the units that he needs to, though. He does need to focus on this pylon. But he needs to try and take out Wiggs' units first so that they don't do any damage to him, because he would have been easily able to take out every single one of Wiggs' units and then focused on that pylon with ease, and then kind of pushed Wiggs back into his main base and made this game go a lot longer, because Wiggs now only using 3 stalkers to take out, I want to say, like almost 12 to 13 roaches, and then Wiggs is doing damage to his mineral line, pulling probes off the line, trying to take out the stalker, but the stalker is going to kind of kite the probes around, and now there are Zerglings on the field, and the stalker is still alive. There it goes, the stalker is finally taken down, and Wiggs is backing up into the back here, bringing 2 more stalkers into his base. And is he still keeping probe count up here a little bit? He is a little bit more saturated than he was, and he does have an okay. Say just left the game. So Say not really having, even though Say could have potentially won this game if he would have injected larva into this hatchery every single time he was able to, he would have been able to produce a ton of more roaches. And what he should have done, other than focusing down the pylon here, first he should have focused on the 3 stalkers here and the 1 zealot. He easily could have focus fired all of them down really quickly, and then focused on this, and that would have pushed Wiggs back to his main base, and it would have been a much different story. But seeing some funny proxy play from Wiggs here, because we also saw Say not even scouting his own base, which, as I've stated many times before, you always want to scout your own base. I mean, I was a victim of this the other day where I didn't scout my own base, and the guy put a proxy pylon in my base and started warping in units at like the 610 mark, and I already had all my units down at his base. So it was more like a base race, and he won because I pulled my probes off the line like an idiot instead of just letting them keep going and building resources so that I would have been able to warp in more units into his base. But he also had a few cannons, so that was a little bit more difficult. But yeah, Wiggs, another thing Wiggs could have done with the cannons is put like a few, like maybe 1 or 2 here just to block this off so that they would have had full range of the mineral line on the Zerglings. So, but funny proxy play from Wiggs here without Say even knowing this is here until the zealots were in his base doing work. So good play from both players. Well, decent play from both players. Could have seen a lot more inject larva from Say, and just trying to keep those queens alive instead of throwing them to their death, because the queens could have kited the zealots around when that queen was getting macked on by the zealots. So I will leave you with this, and you guys don't forget to comment, let me know how I'm doing, thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.